Hey, what's up guys? Sloth King here. I'm working on the Supra again today, and I got something super special in. As you can tell, I have the tires off, or wheels off I should say, and the car's jacked up. I just got these in. Oh yeah, I got some coilovers for the Supra. I've been wanting to do this for a while now. Finally pulled the trigger on it. They're not as expensive as they used to be. I got the revised version. It's the Tein Flex Z. So it comes with their own upper tops, and then it has a better range of adjustability than the Street Advance or Advance, whatever they're called. So I'm gonna be installing those on the Supra today. It's probably gonna take a couple days because I don't have too much daylight left. I'm just gonna show you one side at a time. So I'm gonna start on the front. I'm gonna start on the passenger side because I have more room in the storage unit. And then probably tomorrow or the next day, I'll work on the rears. I'm going to be raising the Supra up about an inch because right now it is way too low. I can't even go over speed bumps without scraping my exhaust. And after putting the new intercooler on, I could barely put my jack underneath the car, so it kind of sucks. Yeah, I don't have the intercooler in the desired location that I want. It needs to go up higher, yada yada yada. Moral of the story, it's way too low, and the ride is kind of harsh. I don't like the spring and shock combo that the previous owner used on this car. He used Tokiko Blues, which a lot of people like, but he paired it with some random spring I don't even know the name of. It might be H&R spring, the race series, where it's like the most extreme drop. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna swap those out. I want something that I can actually daily drive with, that's pretty comfortable, and that I can just drive anywhere I want, and I don't have to worry about stupid speed bumps or manholes in the street that's way too high. But yeah, anyway, enough talking. I tend to ramble on, so let's dig right into this. All right, guys, here they are out of the box. Clean. Time to take out the oldies and let's throw in the new bad boys. All right, guys, so it's pretty straightforward. There's 3 bolts up here, or 3 nuts up here that hold in the top of the shock. And then down here, there's just one long bolt that goes through here. I'm pretty sure you have to take off your upper control arm. I'm not too sure. I think I can get away with not doing it, but we'll find out. And I apologize about the bad camera angle. This part's always hard to like get into. So I think these are just 14s up here. Yeah. Oh. That's a little looser than I wanted them to be. I torqued them down too. Oh well. Okay, so those are loose. And then down here, I believe that's a, I think it's like a 19 millimeter. Yeah, 19 millimeter. And then that just locks in by itself. Ugh, I forgot how tight this thing was on. I think it's like 90 or 100 foot-pounds. And of course, this is gonna move until it gets to the spot where it grabs onto. There's a little ear on it, so once it gets over there, you can break the bolt free. Or you ideally put another socket on there. There we go. And do not misplace the orientation of these washers. Big washer, little washer, nut. So right about now, we can knock that through. I like to just put the nut on a little bit. Grab your hammer. Knock it through. Now, you should be able to knock the rest of it through without any issues. I'll grab my pry bar and then just pry this thing out. There we go. Now what I like to do, just put everything back on how it was. And then let's take off these nuts. And I think with how low these the shock and spring is, I think I can literally just take it out without taking off that upper control arm. Yeah, you gotta take this off so the lower control arm can go down a little bit. All right, I'm gonna take this castle nut off. I forget what size that is. I think it's like a 22 or something. I'm gonna do that and then we'll be back. So I did have to take out my upper control arm. It's this long, huge bolt. It's an 18 millimeter. And then if you loosen up your dust shield right here, you can slide the bolt all the way back. There's a washer right here that keeps getting stuck on the body. So you just keep moving it back. And then now we can take out our old shock. And as you can tell, it is getting dark out. Now I have to find out which one is the front and which one is the rear. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it there for tonight. Kind of ran into a little bit of a snag. I gotta find this out at home. I thought these were going to be longer than the Tokikos that I have, but I'm still like a solid 1.5 inches away, and I'm almost to the max of my adjustment point. So I'm gonna figure out what's going on with these. I'll probably have an update within a day or two, so I'll see you in the next day. Hey, what's up, guys? It's day 2. So I figured out how to adjust the height on these coilovers. So right here, this is your adjustment washer. So the best way to do it, install it in the car, grab one of these wrenches, put a breaker bar on it, and then loosen it. And then from there, you can adjust the height of the coilover itself. This is a preload for the spring, and they already came preloaded from the factory. And then I'm gonna make this about 1 inch longer than this front shock, and that's about it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw it back on the car. I'm gonna break that that washer on the bottom, and then I'm going to measure 1 inch longer than these Tokiko shocks that I have on it. Let's get into it, and hopefully I have enough light for you to see it. If not, I'll take some pictures. Okay, so if you're wondering, the factory nuts, can't see them on camera, it's too dark. The factory nuts do fit these studs. In order to figure out which one's the front and the rear, the front will have bigger studs, and also you'll see this little tab bracket on it. The tab faces towards the wheel, because I believe that's what the brake line gets bolted onto. I forget what it's actually for. First thing I'm gonna do, line this, and then put one nut in so I can hold it. Now I'm not gonna tighten these down. Like I said before, all I'm doing is positioning this. I'm going to lock it in this bottom piece on the lower control arm, and then I'm going to tighten this seat back down. I believe it's 42 foot-pounds, and then I'm going to loosen this one. And don't damage your shock. I'm gonna just hit it with my dead blow hammer just so I can get it in place. All right, now I can loosen this with my breaker bar. Okay, I finally got this. It's very tricky to do. Basically what I did, I put the ratchet up on this one, and I was pushing that way. I had my breaker bar on the bottom, and I was turning to the right. That was on pretty tight, but now it's loose. And I don't think this was tight enough. I gotta double check the torque specs. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this back out, measure my Tokiko shock and then make this 1 inch longer. Okay, so I finally got this bottom piece to move. Now I can adjust my height. All I had to do, I put it back in the car because it was not budging at all. I hit it with my dead blow hammer and then it finally just started moving. So let's go ahead and measure this, and right in the middle it's 22 inches, so I'm gonna bring it down to 23, and that's like at the middle of the eyelet, from the top to the middle of the eyelet. But I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall this in the car, tighten it down, and then we'll go over some other specs. Oh wow, this might be taller than what I'm thinking. Nah, oh well. If I have to adjust it, I will. All right, so I'm gonna pop up all the torque settings up on the screen for everything. Bottom of the shock is this much. Top of the shock is that much. Upper control arm is this much. The upper ball joint is this much. This collar is this much. And the spring seat is this much. All right, guys, I have everything installed on the passenger side. Let's check it out. Looking good. Everything's all torqued down. The only thing I didn't put on is that cotter pin and my brake line, but that will be okay. I mainly just did that so that way I know to put it back on, because before I do anything, I'm gonna just test the ride height. So that's gonna conclude it for me tonight. I'm gonna start working on the driver's side, but I do have to call it a night. And then we will probably pick up back tomorrow with the rear if I get done with the driver's side tonight. I'll see you in the next day. Today is day 3 of working on the Supra with the coilovers, and I ran into a small snag. On the driver's side, when I was putting the coilover in, the upper control arm couldn't fully move because there's a seat on the coilover and it sticks out about maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit less, and is preventing the upper control arm to fully move up and down. And let me show you. So I'm back at the house and I have the coilover off because I have to grind this down, annoyingly. See this mark right here? I have to grind that much off, and that's what's preventing the coilover from, the upper control arm from moving up and down. So I'm grinding off of that like seat kind of thing. It's not going to do anything to the shock at all. So there's still a lip underneath it. See, still plenty of lip right here. So it's going to be fine. It's not going to do anything. And then on the upper control arm, I'm just shaving off a little bit on the inside where it's touching. That way I don't have to shave so much off of there. It's like a compromise. It's not going to hurt anything on the upper control arm. Unfortunately, I have to do this. It's annoying, but I mean, that's kind of what you have to do. So let me show you what I've done so far on the upper control arm. Taking that much off. It's not a whole lot. I'm gonna just even it out, smooth it out real quick, and that should be it for here. It's not detrimental. It's not like I'm cutting the size in half, because that would just be insane. So I'm gonna finish doing that and then hit the wow, I can't speak today. So I'm gonna finish grinding a little bit off on the upper control arm and then hit that that collar piece, whatever it's called, on the coilover, and then we're gonna see if it fits. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so I got that much ground off. It looks ugly. I'm probably gonna put like green paint on it. And then here's the upper control arm. I hate doing this kind of stuff. It sucks. Look at how pretty I look. Hey. Okay guys, so I'm gonna throw this back in the 4Runner and then let's get back to the Supra. All right guys, I just got, I'm just doing a test fit right now, so it looks like it's clearing pretty well. Let's check that out. Pretty good. It just looks awful. I hate it. It's like snagging a little bit, but once I tighten it down, it'll be just fine. Keep in mind, that's one thing you're probably gonna have to do if you get these coilovers. I don't like it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Race car stuff. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and torque all this stuff down, and I'm gonna see how the ride height is. Then I'm gonna pull it out and then pull the front in, so that way I can start working on the rear. I'm probably not gonna get to any of that today. It'll probably be tomorrow. I got some stuff to do tonight. So let me get this stuff done, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's just standing on its own weight. All right, guys, so I just got the car on the ground, and I think I messed up. I guess I'm going off-roading. Oh my God, that's way too high. I got a lot of clearance on the bottom though. Look at that. Oh, that's nuts. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go back in and readjust it. I guess these springs and maybe the shocks are just really worn out, because I just had it set up so that it was an inch taller. Or not even an inch, it was like 3/4 of an inch. Well, this is ridiculous. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so, I mean, I still gotta do the rears, so I might, whatever the size of the rears are, like how tall it is, I think I might keep it the same, because those springs might be really worn out in the back. So it might give it like an extra inch of lift to begin with, because the back is just awful. I can't even put like 2 fingers. It's like it's like a finger and a half. Yeah, because it's way too low in the back. And then look at the front. The front, with the size, with how I measured it, is literally just a finger width like that. And then now I gain like freaking 4 inches. 5 inches, or whatever this is. Well, actually, let's figure out. Because if I had an inch gap between my tire and the fender, and I set these coilovers to be 3/4 of an inch taller, if that, I've gained 4 inches. Oh well. So I'm gonna adjust that, and then yeah, we'll go from there. I'm just gonna do this off camera. So here we go. Today is day 4. It's the next day, and I finally got the front to where I want the height at. So here's the front. Got plenty of clearance on the bottom. My jack can actually slide right underneath it without hitting that intercooler. I don't have 5 inches of gap over here anymore. It's about 3.5 fingers, or looks like it's about 2.5 inches. Yeah, I just got everything torqued down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull the Supra out, and then pull it in, and then start working on the rear. Hopefully, I don't have to grind down this eyelet right here. Someone said that you have to grind it down a little bit so it can fit in the rear. Hopefully I don't have to do that. But anyway, let me go ahead and do that. Get the rear wheels off, and then yeah, we'll start. So let me just show you the overview of what you need to pretty much have or face, get the knowledge for. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm glad that I still have some of my rear interior not put together, because you're gonna need to access your strut bolts. Well, the top hat bolts. So it's just gonna be 3 12mm nuts on each side. 1, 2, and 3. Now what I just used a deep socket with a swivel and extension. So that's all you need there. And then down back here, 1 bolt here, 1 bolt here, nut on each side. And then this is your ball joint. I don't plan on loosening this, because in order to get to that, you gotta take out the CV axle. So I'm gonna see if I can just loosen it. That way my suspension can drop or raise or whatever I'm trying to do, because that's gonna be a pain if I need to do that. There's just 1 bolt here. I think that's still a 19mm. We'll check when we dig in, but this is basically all we have. So let me strap you on my head, get my tools ready, And then let's see if we can conquer this and see if I can put the rear strut in without shaving down that that little bushing thing. So yeah, let's get into it. So it's the same size sockets. You're gonna just need a 19mm wrench, 19mm socket, or two 19mm sockets, whatever you're working with, and of course the breaker bar. So what I'm going to do first, I'm gonna try to just break this loose right here, and then I'll work on the control arms. Oh wow, that was easy, alarmingly easy. Okay, that's loose. Now the nut is on this side, and same thing with this side. It's gonna be kind of hard, but oh well. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's on tight. Oh, that is insane. Holy cow. Can I just wedge this on and then hope it doesn't spin? Oh my God. Wow, that is insane. Okay, I might have to, I don't want to do this. Oh shit. All right, I got it. That is insanely tight. Let's get this side. Oh, this is gonna be a peach, isn't it? Wedge that in there like that. And I hope this can fit over on this side. Wow, they really don't make this easy, huh? Okay, I guess wrench on this side. Now I've got it in position. Let me just set my foot on that. I think it fell off. Wow, this is annoying, guys. No, you come here. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. All right, so I switched around to the open-ended side, and I just jammed it up in there, and I kept my foot right there, and it finally came. So now I'm just gonna take the strut off. I'm pretty sure with that just being loose, I can just pop the strut out. If not, then I'll take out those bolts. Cool. I guarantee you this strut is gonna fall. Oh, no, it got caught. Good. Aha. Successfully removed. Sweet. That allows it to move. I don't want to take that whole thing off. Let's compare these two pieces right here. Yeah, they do stick out a little bit. And let's just see if it fits. Oh, I see the issue. So I don't think this has to get ground down at all. Do you see that piece of metal right here? How it's not flush? I think that's what's stopping it. I'm just gonna grab a pry bar and a hammer and push that in. See if I can move it. Yeah, baby! Look at that! It sits right in there. And then I'm pretty sure putting the bolt on, it'll just tighten it back through. Okay, so now what I have to do, right now I'm just securing it in place. That was a terrible way to get a decent shot. So I'm going to fully seat this whole thing. I'll torque it down after. Oh, that's short. Perfect. No, I'm just kidding, not really. I just need to push this up so I can take off this ring seat. Needs to come out just a little bit. I'm not gonna fully put that in there because I do have to adjust the ride height. Look at that. That's like nothing. An inch and something. So I think I'm gonna bring it down 3 inches. See how it looks. How many millimeters? Right underneath that middle line where the 8 is. Okay. Two, 3, 4. And I'm measuring from this seat to this one right here. They say to measure in here, but if this is touching here, that should be the ride height. Almost there. Honestly, I think that's gonna be tall enough. But I just want, because my exhaust hangs so low, just so you know guys, my exhaust hangs so low, I need to just have the lift in the back till I get my exhaust taken care of. There we go. Look at that, baby. So let me just measure in here because this is how much fender gap I'm gonna have. 3 inches. But if I need it to come up a little bit, I'll just raise this so that way I can get a proper rake. Because I want it to be like this tall, you know? So this torque value right here, it's gonna be the same as the front. Okay guys, I'm at a point where I'm not gonna torque this down. I'm gonna do the same thing on the driver's side, and then we're gonna lower it and see how high it sits. Because I would hate to just re-torque everything, especially those upper control arms. So let me do this side real quick, and then we'll check out the ride height. Okay guys, I got the Supra down on the ground, and I didn't torque anything down. I think it looks pretty good. I got about 2.5 inches. It's not bad. It looks crazy looking at it from right here, but if you're a little bit from a distance, it's not bad. It's 3.25 inches. It's a little over 3 inches, just barely. I have about 1 inch on the front drop, or 1/2 inch. I'll measure it when I get outside. Okay, so I'm gonna throw it back up in the air, torque everything down. I'll give you the torque settings for the upper control arms and the strut hat and the base. So yeah, let's finish this up. Okay, so the torque settings are pretty much the same as the front. The upper control arm is gonna be 121 foot-pounds. The shock bolt and nut is gonna be 101 foot-pounds. And then the hat nuts that are inside of the car, those are just 10 foot-pounds. You do the same thing on the driver's side, which I'm gonna do, and then put the car back on the ground, and then I think we can go for a ride. Okay, so I got the Supra back on the ground. The last thing that we need to do is adjust the stiffness of the ride, so the damping. In here, if you go clockwise, it gets stiffer. If you go counterclockwise, it gets softer. So the rear, turn back 8 clicks from the stiffest setting, and then the front, turn back 7 clicks from the stiffest setting. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, take off your protective cap, and let's turn it back 8 clicks. Eight. Do it to that side. Let's do the 7 clicks to the front. Perfect. And then just do it to the other side, and then we're done. And here's what it's looking like right now. Got a decent amount of clearance under there. Side shot. That looks pretty good. Beautiful. All right, guys. So I'm in the Supra, and let's go for a quick drive and see how this new suspension is. I think I can get a decent headshot, so let me slap you on my head and let's do it. All right, and I actually have you guys in the passenger seat. Wow, that feels awesome. Feels good. want to know what it feels like if it's a little bit softer. All right, so the rears, I'm gonna roll back 3 clicks, and the front, I'm gonna roll back 2. Or actually, I'll just do the same, 3 and 3. That feels way better. Oh my God, I can go over speed bumps. Yes. Woo. Let's do that one more time. Guys. Oh, I haven't been able to do this in years. Oh, it's such a good feeling. This is awesome. All right, guys, I'm super happy with all this. This ride feels fantastic now. I got it dialed in like pretty much perfectly. It's probably gonna need a slight alignment, which I'll get that done next week, but I'm just so happy I can go over speed bumps again without scraping. This is amazing. I love this. This is great. But yeah, I'm gonna continue driving around. I'm gonna go get something to eat because I'm starving. So my recommended settings is set them up like the manual tells you to, and then dial it back 3 notches, front and rear. And it's like a really good compromise. It's just soft enough to take the bumps and dips in the road and everything, but it's still very firm. I love it. So anyways, if you guys found this video very helpful and you liked it a lot, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to see more videos like these, and give me a follow on wow, I can't speak, and give me a follow on Instagram. Anyways, drive safe.